Hi everyone. Today I'm doing another client case study, but this time it's a little different and pretty much in detail, and with showing what happens in the background as well. So, but just on this one, this also shows in this case study that what one can achieve in 3.5 years time, because this client started working with us back in 21. So and then we are talking about, now we are in 24. I'm recording this is in August 2024, and what can be achieved investing in property, because a lot of time we think, oh, what's for me, what can we achieve. Still I hear a lot of people saying, hey, should we invest in regional, will there be a capital growth, all those kind of dilemmas and questions. So I thought, what, let's do the raw case study. Luckily, this client has given me his approval to share his details, so that we can talk about what they were going through, because a lot of people will relate to this also. So I think this is our actually the CRM we use in the background. So the client name is Vinay, Voleti, and then we pretty much bought these 5 properties you can see, and this is in our system. So I'll start with before I get into these properties, what happened is this gentleman Vinay came to us in 21. He can know us also, but then he initially he was thinking to buy some apartment and all. He work in IT, and and then he was like, oh, should I buy apartment? I know I can buy now, I can sign the contract now. And I know those guys were following up with him, and coming and seeing him also, so that pretty much they can sell the property. With us, it was, he has to book a call and then go through the process, and then of course you have to pay a deposit when you're working with a buyer agent. So and then of course he has to wait, be in the queue also, right? So there's a lot of questions he had. So I said, see, if you want, you can buy your apartment, nothing wrong, but I would suggest not to buy. I mean, you look at me, I never had, even I had my first investment property as an apartment, which was by mistake. But otherwise, in my portfolio, I right now have no apartments. We in fact suggest not to buy them. And after a few conversation, he decided to work with us. So there was some confusion in the initial times, which many people can have. So that's what he has started the journey. And I said, the only way you can know and experience thing is by doing it, right? And then he finally decided to work with us. And then what happened is we got him this property. Let me open this in a tab. I think I might have a tab open. Close the other tabs. So this is in Lavington in Aubrey. We bought this property. So and you see this property, I think that time we got it off market. So this is 3 bedroom, 1 bath, good brick veneer home, and pretty much with a good land size. So this is, you can see, 717 land size, and then we got it in 21 March for 349. Now this property is currently, I'll see my notes, I think it's renting for 420, which is on the lower side, because I do have a property in the in same area, and it's renting for much higher. So he has been generous, not pushing his rents up. But I think he did the valuation recently, and it was 500, because he took out equity I think last year. And then the evaluation came 500K. So of course, if you see in the same suburbs, the property prices are going like 535, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 575. So it's easily more than 500, we can say, right? If he has to sell the property. Now, another good thing is this property has got a decent land size, and it has got a potential to build a granny flat also. So down the line, if he wants to do some development, he can build a granny flat. And the location of this property is very central. Like if you see, if you see this property, literally good land size, and this house from here, literally we were standing, we went to the town once, and literally the ulis and everything is in front of his property, right? So very central location, walking to everything, as you can see. Now more than 500. Now we bought in what, like 21, say, March, April, settled that time, and now we are talking about in little over 3 years, good 150 plus, correct? So, and rent wise, I think it should be renting around 470, 480 comfortably, but currently it's renting for 420 because I'm sure he has not pushed his rent, and comfortable, right? So that again shows in a regional what can happen, and he has not yet built his granny flat, which opportunity is there, very comfortably he can build it. So this is the first property. And then what happened is, immediately we went and bought his second property. And again, some background why we choose Aubrey, because a lot of investment happening. It was affordable that time. Still it's a good market, and again, at the same time, you're buying a house with a decent land size. Guess what? We paid 349. Even you had to build a house like this, for that price, one can't build that. Plus the land, plus the central location. So all the fundamentals plus, there was huge, good demand, population going up, lot of investment happening, a solid strategic location. Then second property we went and bought is in Toowoomba. So I'm just opening our CRM, and if you see this property, we got in the center of Toowoomba. Literally this property, I visited this property. It was really nice, neat and clean. They had done a renovation kind of thing, but then it was built like, pretty much everything was new. The new roof, the outside cladding, all those, very well done. It's not a new house, but very well renovated, like, as if they have done a fresh. Again, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, land size 577 square meter. How much we bought for? 375. So literally, after he settled the first property in Aubrey, Vinay bought his second property in a row, right? So again, someone looking to buy an apartment and not convinced to use our service initially, and then immediately he understood the power of it. He learned a lot of stuff, and then he got the confidence, and immediately he said, "Oh, no brainer, Sanjeev, let's go with the next one." And you can see we bought for 375, and this property is right now renting for 450. Again, a lower rent, I would say, and the valuation came 550. So now, and then of course, this property, I think it will be worth more. And again, if you see the location, it's literally in the center of the town. It's all commercial all around, so you can't go wrong. If you can see, no flood, nothing. You can see Tombo Hospital is like walking, pretty much very. I think again, upsize is like you can convert into commercial space also, and then you can run. You can see similar I think our is a 3 bedroom 1 bath, but if you have 2 bathroom, it's 659, and market is hot right now. Still it's it has gone up. So I would say comfortably close to 600 or something, price wise, or close to, the bank valuation came 550. I think which was, I think he used the equity from this property to bought his next property, which we're going to talk about, but say even 550 valuation, right? So again, good 200k he has made on this property. If you go with bought for 375, and if he has to sell for 575, which is again lower side, I would say, 200K, right? So not bad, and the rent is 450. So then other thing is, both of these properties he paid 12% deposit, and he paid LMI. Of course, numbers back in that time were slightly lower, means 375. It's not now same property, if you have to buy, you will paying 600 and more, right? So the price point was lower, so he was comfortable to pay the LMI, and that's what initially, when you're looking to build a portfolio, and if you have to pay LMI, it is kind of an investment, I would say, because suddenly you save. It is something tax deductible expense anyways. You can now amortize over 4 or 5 years and get the claim back on the LMI part, as part of the buying process. So it's a good strategy if you're looking to fast track your portfolio. And he was comfortable paying LMI, right? So again, learning, understanding. So this was his second property in Toowoomba. So beautiful location, nice property, and solid quality build with decent land size and in the center of the town. Again, why Toowoomba? A strategic location, a lot of investment. Not far from Brisbane, not far from anything. It's pretty central location as a region, and lot happening. I think there's a lot of Toowoomba has already gone up in last few years, as you can see, but still a lot of fuel in the tank, I would say, for Toowoomba. Very strategic location. Now we bought third one. So this third one was in Gracemere, actually. So then what he did is, then he learned about investing through self-managed fund, and this property, then he set up his self. I think that time Vinay, our client, had only 140K in his super, and he went ahead and set up his self-managed fund. Now with the self-managed fund, what happens is, if you're buying a residential property, pretty much you're looking for 20% deposit, the stamp duty, the legal cost, building and pest, and if you're using a buyer agent fee, right? So he had 140K, and he set up his self-managed fund, and he gone and we bought this property in Gracemere, which is in Rockhampton region. It's a suburb in Rockhampton. Again, very strategic location. We bought this property literally in the same year, in 21, in December, I think, which we settled in January, I believe. We got it for 342, right? Now 342. Now this area, like, this is again a decent land size, 857, as you can see, big land. And again, if you want, okay, as you can see, neat and clean property, all those things. 4-bedroom, good brick veneer home. Again, the logic was, like, you're buying for, say, under 350. You can't build these homes for that price, right? So again, this area had a downfall in the past, but then that's your opportunity, right? So sometimes people think, oh, it's regional, you're buying so cheap, it has not grown up in last 10 years. But hey, that's where the opportunity is. Otherwise, if the area has really gone up in last 10 years, then probably it will be sitting at $1 million, right? And then probably you'll say, oh, and it's no more affordable. So again, look at those basic economics, affordability, and they are solid location now. Because of that, now these properties are selling for 540, 550, and there will be like 10 offers on each property. It's so again, market has moved. So literally in 2.5 years, now this property is worth 550 at least. And rent wise, this property, I think he's getting a rent of 480. So again, he understood and learned about different structures and used the self-managed fund even with 140K. I know a lot of accountants or a lot of financial planners may say, you know what, unless you have got 200, 300K, don't set it up. It's not worth it. But I don't agree with them, because you can see with 140K, he set it up, and he literally bought a property, paid say 20% deposit, say around 70 grand more or less, and stamp duty. With pretty much with 100k he's done and dusted, right? And he's got a property now. He has got almost 200k capital growth in this property in the last 2.5 years. So, and it's renting for 480. Even though rents have gone up, it's quite. It should be around 520, 550 mark. But again, he's generous and he's not pushing because he bought at a good time and he's enjoying the capital growth and everything. Plus, brick veneers, solid property, neat and clean in good locations. So. So third property, and then what we did is we gone and bought his fourth property in Perth. So the fourth property, he took out the equity from the Toowoomba property, the second property, because I think Toowoomba valuation came better, and he decided to use that one. He took out pretty much 90k from the Toowoomba property and bought this property in Perth in July 22, right? So again, good land size. It's a corner block, 3 bedroom, just for 388. Currently this property is renting for 480 per week in Perth, right? Again, I think 480 is low rent. Corner block, as you can see, you can build a granny flat, basic home, and now this property is worth, I would say, again, no, not far from the beach, of course, a few kilometers. So then what happened is this property is, I think he has got the valuation of 550 recently, which again he took out the equity. No, I think he didn't took out the equity. And then we're going to talk about his fifth property, right? But this property valuation came around 550 mark, and as we know, Perth is going very strong. Most likely he's gonna get much better. I think this property would be like close to 600. But say even though property is 560, 570, he has again made 200k more or less on this property as well, I would say. So if I'll show you Port Kennedy, again, Rockingham, right? So this Port Kennedy is a suburb in Rockingham. So again, if I look at Port Kennedy, yeah, 649. So 4 bedroom, again, those will go for higher price. But yeah, I think if we do a 3 bedroom search, so you can see, right, 3 bedroom actually offer from 599, right? So pretty much similar property. I think maybe they have just did a fresh paint or something, freshen up the property. But you can see, right, 599, and oh my god, so even 3 bedroom 2 bath has 649. So you can see pretty much you're sitting at close to 600 actually, right? So again, that shows like, literally in 2 years time, he has made 200k on this Perth property. So if you look back, from Aubrey, we bought it around 350 mark, and now that's sitting at little over 500, right? Say, 500, so 150. Toowoomba is comfortably 200k, I would say. And then Port Kennedy is comfortably 200 again, and then Gracemere is again comfortably 200k growth. So you're sitting at, and then the last property, which we recently bought it after buying 4, and then so out of the last 4 properties, he has bought 1 in self-manageable fund, but all the 3 properties were in personal. But this time we tell him like, that, hey, you have to stop buying on personal names. So the discussion enabled earlier also, but then he took as the opportunity and bought his 5th property in a family structure. This was recently we bought it, so he took a break for a good 2 years time after that, after buying 4 properties. And then we bought it for 511. As you can see, pretty much, we bought in June, so settle early July. And then this property again, it's a neat and clean brick veneer, beautiful home, 4 bedroom, and again a very hot market right now, Gladstone. And it has got and then this is renting for actually, with the new rule in Queensland, where you can't increase the rent for 1 year, and the rent, whatever the old rent is, linked to the property. Because of that, I think we have to keep this property for rental 475 for next 2 months, I believe. And then pretty much from actually from September, end of September, October, this property will be renting at 550, because that's the market rent. So again, 550 rent, not bad, neat and clean property again. So just now we bought it, and this property, I would say, has easily gone 20-30K. So market is moving, and so that's where fifth property this is now. He bought in a family structure, just otherwise he will that will be a bottleneck for his borrowing capacity going forward. So he has got 3 in his personal names and 2 property, 1 in self-management, one in a family structure. And then again, this time he took out the equity from the Aubrey property. He bought it first time, and that's pretty much that paid his property. And maybe I think he has taken out a little bit from Perth property, I believe. So, and this property, yeah, so rental. So now these are the 5 properties. He bought it in last working with us since 21. So you can see, like, literally, if I again repeat, pretty much Toowoomba, we talked about 200K. Lavington, maybe not, I think, unless it's sold for 550, which I doubt. Probably 520, 530 is a good number. You're pushing 550, and very central location. So say, conservatively, 170 mark and 200, another 200. So, and then another 206 plus. So I would say with all these properties, you're looking at 800K in capital growth in last 3.5 years, right? Overall, with the whole purchasing and 4 properties, he bought it in a row, right? So not a bad outcome, right? Now, a lot of people may say, oh, I missed the boat, I didn't bought it that time, it was good. But hey, even that time people had concerns. A lot of people bought it, a lot of people didn't bought it, correct? And this is what I want to show you, that if you buy today, then only one can see the growth. Again, buy with the fundamentals, work with people who are in the game, learn from others, lean in, right? So, but 800K, I know, like Vinay, when Vinay came to us, generally we ask about people goals and everything. And he's single, and his goal was that he want to build his portfolio and now retire early and travel the world. So he still travels while I'm recording. I know he's traveling again, but he loves traveling, and that is his goal, and he's serious about it. And you can see he has taken action, because we can only educate people, but then taking action is on our clients, right? And he has been a good student, taken action, and did well, and then all I'm talking is, see, in last 3 years he has achieved that good 800K capital growth, right? Now, good rental yields, good properties. They are generally always tried to buy neat, clean properties, so that you have less maintenance. And sometimes exceptions are there, but most of the time we buy neat and clean properties, unless someone wants to do a renovation deal. So this shows like what is possible in a short period of time. And guess what? He has bought 5 properties, but even you had bought one of these properties, how good it is, right? In Australia, average income is 90 to 100K, 1,000 in a year, right? But each of these property has given him close to 200k, if not more, right? So how good is that? Now a lot of people might be thinking, you know what, this kind of result happened in the past, but hey, it's still happening. I started my journey 10 years ago, and when I understood, I gone hard and and did well. So of course, last few years has been really good, but guess what? Is still right now in Australia we have a major housing crisis, and there's a huge demand. So if you buy in good strategic location, good houses, there's always a demand. There will be capital growth happening, and and this is again, I'm repeating, but people who think that regional property doesn't grow, hey, this is a live example, right? This I've showed you. Other than Port Kennedy, which is in Rockingham in Perth, all are regional properties. Have they done well? Definitely, right? I don't have to tell. Now, you can clearly see how in little over 3 years, someone's situation can change. Now, when I look back, when Vinay started, I can tell you, he works in IT, very smart guy, full of energy, and probably he could, even though he was tossing up between buying apartment, because, that's what he came across. He had some friends and all, and they were selling apartments, or, somehow he knew, and then the dilemma came, confusion, and finally he chose to work with us, right? But then I can tell you, he could have gone himself also and bought these properties, maybe with his own time and space. It could have happened anyways, right? I mean, could anything, but is it smart? Like, even after using our service once, he could have gone and bought himself, right? But then he loves playing cricket over the weekend in the cricket season. He loves surfing, going for swimming. So different lifestyle, and he of course he's busy with his profession and all those things. But then he understood the power of leverage, and he said, you know what, as you can see, like 5 properties, right? Now a lot of people think about the buyer agent fee, should I pay, is it expensive, and all those things. But for him, he pretty much paid 5 times, right? And not that he couldn't have gone and bought these properties, but again, it takes the time, research, and the expertise also, right? So, but then he decided, but then you have to look at his ROI, right? Like, say, of course he has paid X amount of dollars, right? But then close to 800k, and that is only in last 3 years, right? Now these properties will be continue to grow over the time. Of course, they'll not be growing as the good amount of growth has happened in like a very short span of time, but eventually they will continue to grow. And I can tell you, pretty much in next few years, they're close to doubling up, right? Or almost double up, right? So I think now if he has got, like, say, 800k capital growth, that's like 10x return, more than that, right? He has got investing in the service, right? So, and then of course he has learned. So similarly, even for me, like, say, if I'm investing $1 and someone can help me get even 5x return, I'll be happy. And for Vinay, he has got 10x return on his investment, right? At the same time, if you look back, the first 2 properties he invested, right, with 12% deposit, LMI and all. The third property was self-managed fund, of course, a low entry point, just with 140k he had in super. He set it up, bought his property, and then the 4th and the 5th property, pretty much he used close to very negligible deposit from his pocket, because the money came from his last 2 properties, and of course the other cost probably come from his own savings, right, for the 4th and 5th property. So as you can see, when you start getting leaning in the game, it can really do the magic very in a short span of time. So I think that's very powerful. Similarly, I had another case study for another client, Tom, he did well. He bought, I think, 5 properties. I think in that time, I think I recorded, we're talking about he how made more than 600K again in a few years time. And these properties are continuously growing up. I can just explain everything, right? So they're going, at the same time, we have hundred of clients we help, like, build a portfolio, buy 4, 5, even 6, 7 properties. I've got one client, he has got 7 properties. He had, I think, literally he had 2 properties before he started with us, and then we help them buy 5 properties. He's rent investing. He's got a beautiful family, and he rent himself, and he has got 7 properties. Made more than $1 million, I can tell you, in capital growth. So it's all possible in the property world. So and at the same time, see, you may be looking back and saying, what, I didn't took action, or I was not aware of that. Hey, that happens, even in my personal journey, initial few years, I did things, but not the best way. No learning, nothing. I didn't know what to do. But then when I understood and started learning, then I've never looked back, and took a lot of action and changed my whole situation, right? So again, you can do yourself, but then again ask yourself, like, do you have all the time and the learning and everything? So seek help, right? It could be just like, learning the property art, or even like, or using a buyer agent, right? I'm not saying you have to use, but then again, if you work with someone who is willing to share and help you guide, like now Vinay, he has not only bought properties, he has learned the art also, right? And now if you look at these 5 properties, they are in, like, 3 of them are in Queensland, but different local government areas, right? Again, which means that we are diversifying it, and they are in very strategic locations, solid. And then other 2 properties are in, other 2 properties, one in Perth, one in New South Wales. So again, we are, in different structures also. So again, the land tax part, so you don't have to end up paying land tax. And there's a lot of things, all these 5 locations are diversified economy. They're not your high risk areas. So again, a lot of thought process is put when you're looking at those areas. There's a lot of learning. See, only you can learn, right? Even now I've got a property coach, property mentor, business mentor. So we all need help. That's the truth, right? So it doesn't matter like where you're in your journey. So you start, you take action, and based on your, what you need, work with people who are smarter, you can learn from, and do it, right? So I think, and that's it, right? I think otherwise you can see how, in a shorter span things can happen. Now at the same time, see, I'm not saying that go and buy in these areas, or do the same thing. This is not any financial advice or anything, but I'm showing you that what can happen in the property world. At the same time, like now all these areas have grown up, like, for Vinay, we bought, all these properties around 350 mark. Those days are also gone. Now prices has gone up. So again, resetting, now if you're buying in current environment, probably you'll not buy this kind of good quality properties in quality locations for 350 anymore, right? It'll be rough and tough, and the price point has also gone up. So but it shows you again, because I still hear from a lot of people, hey, I'm not sure, should I buy in regional? Hey, these are regional location, that's the tag, but they are solid big towns, big center with good population. They are self-sustained local government areas, right? So so they're not like a regional town in the middle of nowhere. All these towns have got airport, everything, you can think of. So yeah, just start thinking a little bit, and understand like the economics, and it can help you. Otherwise, what else? Like, pretty much say, if you're looking for any help or anything, feel free to reach out. Like you can reach out to us on through our website, book a call if you need help. Otherwise, I've got my book also actually, which where I have shared my entire journey and the strategies and everything which you can learn and understand And this also book is a testament, like that we have shared a lot of client stories as well with numbers and everything, and you can see just in few years how the numbers can change, the growth and everything, right? So we have helped like 100 of clients. Think about, like, if you have bought one or two properties, if you have bought 5, 6, 7 properties. So it's good way. So again, you can, like, this is a link I think you'll probably find in somewhere in the comment section. You can order my copy of book, or you can just download a free copy. Actually, if you're not interested in getting a copy of the book, then just get a download through this page. I think we'll put a link. Now again, I want to highlight that like when I look at Vinay's story, it's such a good story. Like when he came, he said, Sanjeev, I want to travel. He's such a happy man, and I'm serious about it, so help me out. And then we started working. So similarly, what, Vinay is one example. He himself rent actually at the moment, and he loves traveling and everything. But for a lot of people, like, they could be have married couple, they have kids, and they want to send them to private education and all, right? So again, see, buying one property like 200K, I can tell you next 10 years of fees is covered, right? Even you pay 20,000 a year. So by doing these things, like, it's a good way. Like, my daughter goes to a private school. When we had a baby, my wife said, our kids, wherever we're gonna leave, she's gonna go to a private school. I said, okay, let's do that. But with our income, we couldn't afford that, I can tell you, right? Of course, it's not, it's a lot of cost, right? So what is the way? Property. Like, you can buy one property. A lot of people wants to give nice cars, nice things to their partner, right? Again, you don't have to work hard and really save money, and then able to afford those things. Again, invest. There's better ways of doing things, right? So just buying this kind of property, and now even you sell and say get 100, 150K after paying tax, hey, it's worth it, right? So again, where is the focus? Is to save the money or to invest and grow the money, right? Vinay didn't focus on saving money. Otherwise, he would have bought just one property and sit there, right? And you can see how the whole opportunity, he just opened to himself, right? By just doing things, partnering with the right people. Similarly, like, you want to pay off your home, doing these things. Like, he made 800K. Of course, if he sell all this property, he will end up paying tax, right? But hey, he just bought it recently, last few years. Now you let it grow and you'll see what's going to happen. And then he can sell few properties and buy his dream home or whatever he wants to do it, right? So it's all possible. Like, we paid off our home now, right? All because of this investment. Otherwise, with me and my wife income, I used to work in IT. Wife used to work with Westpac. It would not happened, I can tell you. So just think about it. Like, we all have those. We want to help our parents. We want to travel, right? So again, now we are in a position to travel to India every year, spend good time with family, travel here and there. So, all those opportunity can come. Like, look back at my story as well. Like, I started going hard 10 years ago, even though I've been investing from good 14, 15 years, did a lot of mistakes as well, right? But now I've changed my entire, life, just with the help of investing in property. So I think last message. So I think, hope it has given you some insight, like what property can do it. Thanks to Vinay again, because he allowed me to share all his detail and his life, right? So again, hope it has inspired you and show you good results, like what is possible. Again, I'm not like, when these clients come, we never say, hey, if you invest with us, we'll buy a property, you're going to make 200K in a year or 2 year or 3 year. No, nobody knows that number. All we say is, just look for average 7-8%, 6 to 8% capital growth, and one should be happy. But of course, these are good location, this is good timing. You're going to do much better. But we all say, you're going to do, but nobody has got the crystal number that, if you invest now, you're going to get 20% capital growth. So, don't look for those guarantees in the property world. There is always a risk, but it's worth it. Like, once you understand, educate yourself, And that's what we do. We not only help you buy a property, we educate you. So, it's not like trying to convince you how it works and, all those things. No, we educate you. So if you're willing to learn, understand, and play this game, and looking for help, then reach out to us. That's it, right? Otherwise, I think enough for this case study, and hope it has helped you. And I look forward to you in the next video.